Welcome back to House Fixer. Now your garage door is one of the biggest features on your house, and when it looks old and unsightly it's pretty much a complete eyesore. So how do I go about changing this and maybe even make life a little bit easier? Brian, what are you finding people using garages for these days? I know traditionally it's to park the car in, but also I was in a great garage and it was a pub. So what have you found? What way are people going with garages these days?
Well, they could be used for anything, not just parking cars. People use them as gyms, or they use them as an office or a playroom, next room in the house.
Just get slotted into that then?
The slots into place, yeah. That's it.
Alright, that's slotted in now anyway.
That's slotted in now, yeah.
You're all set up. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So next section, then we have the glaze section on top. So you can get them with it without glass.
You make it sound so easy.
It is easy.
Now, how long are you looking at typically for an installation?
For an installation, it depends. A replacement job like this can take about, really, you could call it a day's work. But a typical installation would be about 2 to 3 hours.
About 2 to 3 hours?
Yeah.
So
For a manual door. No, you can tilt it forward.
the average-
Tilt it forward, yeah. That's it.
for your average single door then, from start to finish, it's done in the day.
Yeah.
There seems to be a good bit of weight in each of the panels individually.
There is.
What lifts them fellas up? It's got to be an awful strong motor, or?
Well, the motor actually doesn't do all the work. All the motor does is move the door up and down. So it's
Yeah.
the spring that lifts the door up and down. So it's called a counterbalance system.
Sure.
So when we're finished, we've everything set up, we're going to wind up that spring. That's tightened onto the shaft, and the shaft turns the drums and turns the cables and lifts the door up and down.
Now, what are you looking at? Like, I know putting a big steel door on a garage.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a big steel door, and with the price of energy shooting up, which is a constant consideration now, is a big steel door not going to let out a huge amount of heat or let in a huge amount of cold?
In fact, it does the opposite, because even though the door is constructed of galvanized steel and with a polyester coat in it, it's actually a sandwich construction. So you have steel, polyurethane insulation, and another layer of steel inside. So it's completely sealed all the way around as well on the exterior, and there's a bulb sealed across the bottom. The glazed ones then come with double glazing.
Right.
It keeps in the heat as well, So
Very
they're completely airtight, and there's a thermal break in between all the sections and a seal between all the sections.
Now, you see that the covering that you have on top of the steel, now it's got to be one of the biggest offenders when it comes to really unsightly garage doors, and it's just the paint peeling off them, wood rotting at the bottom of older ones, or just the big old ones rusting as well. And I mean, the reality is, it's probably an investment for a lifetime getting a good garage door.
In a good garage door,
What would you do basically if either you decide to change the windows on your house, or can you paint that stuff?
Yes, you can. You can paint it with it.
And would I use just a regular outdoor paint, or is there a spray paint, or what type of paint would I have to use on that?
Well, they're available in any RAL or BS colour, and also some golden oak wood grain finishes as well.
Sure.
And mahogany wood grain. But if you want to paint it, you can paint it with any latex paint.
A latex paint?
That's what they recommend, yeah.
That's because it'll probably, I suppose, expand more with the steel when it's contracting.
Yeah, flexibility in the latex.
Right,
a glass might react and won't last as long.
Sure, and it'll look shabby quick enough.
Would,
Right, it's easy enough action on it. Doors installed. What's the next stage now?
Next stage now is to install the operator. So that
the operator is...
That's the motor to lift the door up and down, so it's remote control.
Okay. Now just say, for example, I was out and didn't get back from a journey till 3 o'clock in the morning. If there's a big noisy motor in my garage, surely that's going to make a lot of noises. Like, garage doors are traditionally noisy, creaky fellas. So in the middle of the night, it's not the time to open them. How does the motor compare?
Well, the motor is actually a DC drive motor, and it's a belt drive.
Right.
But even the chain drive one is a DC drive as well, so both are quiet. But the belt drive is ultra quiet, so you won't hear it running.
All right, okay.
Virtually silent,
Brian, regarding the safety element of the door, if you set the door to close and you're driving off down the driveway and a child perchance ran into the garage, are there any kind of safety mechanisms that are set up for that? It's potentially extremely dangerous, isn't it?
Well, with this operator, with the Silent Max, when we set it up and set the bottom limit, the top limit, it learns the torque needed to close the door and to open the door.
So if it feels a resistance,
so if it feels any change in torque or any change in resistance, it'll reverse.
And it'll be sensitive enough, would it?
Very sensitive, yeah.
Right, Brian, can I see this fella in action, sir?
Sure, there's the remote control.
certainly very quiet. But what would the advantages of a sectional door be over, say, the traditional double doors or a bifold door?
Well, the most obvious thing probably is the fact that it opens vertically and folds back in on the ceiling, so you have none of this outswing with a traditional tilt-up door or outswing doors.
Alright, so it's not going to bump off the car if you're in front of it?
No, and it's completely sealed all around, across the bottom and all around the perimeter. And also they're available in a lot more styles, so you can get Georgian raised panels like this one, but they're also available with just a horizontal ribbed effect, or what's popular in our coach house doors that look like barn doors but are actually sectional and open straight up as well.
Right. There is, to say the least, a slight difference in the older technology.
Substantial difference between the older technology and...
But tell me this much, because it's a motorised door and the older one wouldn't be, what would be to happen if your motor broke down for one reason or another? Would you be trapped outside your garage?
No, if you don't have access through a side door, you can always get into the garage with an emergency disconnect key, which we fitted to the top section on this door. So you'll never be locked out, even if your electricity goes.
So at the end of the day, I still have a key I can put in the door?
You still have a key, you can still get in, yeah.
Okay, and what are we going to do with this fella?
Well, we take them all away. So every replacement job we do, this is all part of the service. We take away the old door and the old frame and dump it for this.
Okay, no cleaning up for me then?
No cleaning up for you.
I always
not
like
after
to
us.
hear that. You're a gentleman, thanks a lot.
Thanks very much.